Okay. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Perhaps you may be wondering what's going on here. So before you prepare for any...
Swami can take satsang.
That's what I'm doing, yeah. So before you get ready for a special function like wedding, etc., you get ornamented, So similarly also before every function like this, I have ornaments here and there, So, and he is my beautician. He puts it on for me every day. So you see this ritual before every class, so you don't be surprised what's going on. So this session is supposed to be for satsang. So I invite the audience to come up with a question. We have a cordless microphone. One has to start. The others will get courage, also to ask. Very good.
Hari Om Swamiji. On behalf of the students here, we were very eager to meet you for the last 2 years.
Thank you.
We are very happy that your health is fine and you are going to bless us for the next 10 days. Hari Om Dhanya.
Thank you.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Yeah.
This is the third camp in a row I am attending. It's always a pleasure to get the blessings of all of you, and especially the blessings of Vijaya Swamiji. He happens to be just behind you right now, covered. Otherwise, his blessings are always there, overseeing us. And
right here, though.
No. The behind you, the blue screen behind you. Actually, that is always there. Means showering his love to all of us here. Anyway, we are missing him inside. I hope he is always there. I hope this camp is as exciting as the other two, which I had earlier attended. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Thank you.
Hello Swamiji, we have spent few days with you and we really felt that you are Brahmanistha. How do we get your jnana over next 10 days so that we don't have to come back to this world?
I like to believe what you said, basically. That I'm a Brahmanistha. I like to hear this kind of thing also. I like to believe also. And but the process that we have followed and are following is Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam na Pramajitavyam. Swadhyaya Pravachravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam. That is a process, as you know very well. And so I am glad that you have taken this opportunity for Shravanam. So seek out as many opportunities as you can get for listening to the teachers. And the spare time that you have, try to reflect upon, again study, read, study, think. The idea is that as much time as you can devote to the pursuit of knowledge. That does not exclude prayers and other forms of worship. But the way to gain nishtha and jnanam is to continue to pursue the jnanam by shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam. And to support this, you have whatever forms of prayers you have, whatever forms of worship you have, namasmaran, bhakti. So that is a supporting one for preparing the mind. And more you get engaged with Shravan, less and less of other means. And so a commitment to the pursuit of knowledge by way of listening, reflecting, and studying yourself. If you need the change, do something else, like namasmaranam, like pujanam. Meaning that whatever time the mind permits you to engage the mind centered upon Ishvara. Ishvara, when it comes to worship, is with attributes. And Ishvara, when it comes to contemplation like Shravanamanam, is one that transcends attributes. Same Ishvara. So as Puja Swami used to say, bringing Ishvara into our life in whichever way we can, and even in the regular activities, bringing Ishvara into life would mean performing whatever day-to-day activities we are required to perform in the spirit of worship as an offering to Ishvara. So somehow Ishvara comes in our life as much as possible. Our Puja Swami's famous sutra, more of Ishvara, less of I. So that is the process. And what we can do is to follow the process. When will something happen, let Ishvara decide. Because sometimes we have tension as to when will I get Brahmanistha, when will I get liberated, when will this happen. So there Lord Krishna's simple statement, karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So leave the outcome to him and we remain devoted to the process of bringing Ishvara into our life. So that is the way to gain, number one, grace of Ishvara, and number two, gaining an identification and abidance in Ishvara. So Ishvara in whichever form, with attributes, then the way of relating to Ishvara is different. Then I am a devotee and he is the one who is worshipped. Ishvara without attributes as a self, then he is object of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. So to whatever extent our mind permits us to remain focused on this. And if mind wants to do things, then also is all right. Then also we can bring in Ishvara as the one to whom that action is offered. Then also remembers tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yudhyacha. So Lord, therefore remember me at all the times, in whichever form you can.
Thank you, Swamiji. always a pleasure listening to you. With God's grace, we got the opportunity to.
चलो चल
I think I speak loud anyway. With God's grace, we have been listening to you since 2006 in USA and here, and it's always a pleasure. And we have come a long way. I see the change in both of us. But as you said, when we'll get the Brahmishta and when we'll really get to that level. But as you already explained that, yes, we have to continue the pursuit and hopefully we will
Sure.
Shravanam and Manan, we will be.
And one more thing I should add, enjoy the process. Let the process not be a time for waiting and looking forward to something. Then the mind again is engaged in future. So we pursue the process and enjoy the process.
Smell the roses on the way, kind of. The journey to spirituality.
Right. Because if you enjoy the process, then this anxiety, when will the result come? That won't be there. And so, enjoy the present, enjoy the process, enjoy yourself, I should say. That's the best way.
Thank you.
Swamiji, just I don't know whether it should ask or tell you what have we done in our last janam that we have got this janam with everything, all comforts, and also what should we do for our next janam? Then,
So when comforts are given, which is a great advantage as compared to many who may not have those comforts, when comforts are not there, sometimes a lot of time and energy has to be spent in creating comfort. So that you have comfort means that you don't have to devote time or energy in creating comfort. So that's good. And you just say, make Ishvara as the very center of everything that we do. So whatever it is that the mind permits you to do. Whatever that the mind likes to do. Does it like to listen, Shravanam, Mananam, Chintanam, Japa, Dhyanam, worship? But centered around Ishvara. That's what we should do.
center means everything we have to be alert and remembering Ishvara is there. How to
So that's a very good word, being alert. Yes. How to be alert? Again by remembering Ishvara. Therefore, devote a specific time when you don't have to do anything special, when there is no anxiety of accomplishing anything. At that time remain alert. It's easier to be alert when there are no other pressures on our mind. The alertness is not there because there are pressures of what happened, what will happen, what is happening. So these things occupy our mind and distract us from our focus. And well, let us say that is happening. So one thing that we can do is assign some time where there is no other agenda. Let there be a period of time, in half an hour, when there is no agenda.
but no agenda, but the mind, even for a second, it goes round and round. What not happens, I don't
No, I appreciate, I understand. And that is why I am saying the mind goes generally chases an agenda. Something that it has to do, something it did not do, but the mind is usually chasing some other agenda. So sit down and tell the mind, now mind is half an hour, no agenda. Nothing to accomplish, nothing to be worried.
And to remember God, we have to pray, or we have to think, or have satsang. So, which is the easiest procedure where mind can be, kept controlled.
The different people find it easy in different ways. Some find it easy to listen. Some people find it easy to remember. Some people find it easy to read or study. Some people find it easy to communicate. So see what your mind likes.
Thank you.
Namaskar, Swamiji. As far as the mind we are talking, what I want to understand is that I am here because of the mind. Because mind is something which takes us around everywhere. And now you said you listen to the mind and like do different tasks, or without even planning anything, carry on with the things. But mind becomes so restless that the thing which one is supposed to do, mind takes that person to the opposite direction, right? So how it is, or the chaos is only because of the mind. What I am trying to understand is that how do I do something where my mind is at peace and I am not listening to the mind, and I'm just I'm very new to Vedanta. I went for Vipassana and all. There we were told that you just observe the mind, don't walk with the mind, and it's just something you don't have to listen to it, and just observe, and then slowly the mind will dispel or dilute, or a time will come where there will be absolutely shunyata. I did try that, but mind is something which is all the time, is always there, and that just doesn't let me do the things which I really want to pursue or want to do. So I want to understand this more in clarity. Thank you, Swamiji.
But well, then a good thing is to engage the mind in some activity that the mind likes to do. Try to understand the mind and see what it likes to do. There are likes and dislikes in the mind. That is what distracts the mind. So try to understand what is it that the mind is chasing, what is it that it wants. So understanding the mind is the first thing, not just observing. Merely observing and witnessing can help at some point, but understanding. So try to understand the mind. What do I mean by that is that what distracts the mind are the attachments and aversions, raga and dvesha. So observe the mind and understand what raga is there, what attachment is there, what anger it has, what resentment it has, what attachment it has, what does it like. So let us try to understand the mind and deal with the mind in the sense that mind is running around because it has some difficulties. The difficulties are because of the accumulated maybe resentment, anger, ambitions, anxieties, all reduced to likes and dislikes. So let us try to understand the mind. What is this difficulty? It likes some person, likes certain things, it dislikes others. What is the reason? And we have to work with the mind to make the mind become free from those attachments, aversions. And Vedanta teaches a method called the Pratipaksha Bhavana. If mind is angry at somebody, just as an example, I hate a person because I see some aspect of the person which I cannot tolerate. Maybe the person has done something to me and I cannot tolerate that. So what is Pratipaksha Bhavana? Be kind to that person. But Swamiji, he has hurt me. He has snatched away this from me. He pushed this thing into me. Something must have happened, that's why I dislike the person, I'm upset with the person, angry with the person. This is an example. You follow what I'm saying? So now coming back to what we call a two-step process. Anger is one-step process. Somebody does something, I react to that. So two-step process is, somebody does something, the first step is try to understand the person. Why does that person do that? Somebody insulted me. So I normally react to insult with my reaction. Two-step process is, what is behind that reaction? What is behind that anger that the person expressed to me? What makes that person do this? You will find that there is some pain in that person which makes that person upset or angry. How do I know that? Because we see ourselves. When do we get angry? We get angry at somebody when there is something bothering me, some pain within me which makes me angry. So other person has been angry at me, which means that there must be some pain in that person. So looking at the person behind, if I respond to behavior which is going to be, behavior is an insulting behavior and therefore my reaction is going to be of anger. Right? But if I look at the person who behaved that way, you will find that there is some pain in that person. Nobody likes to be angry, understand? Because I don't like to be angry. I do not like an angry self. I only like a kind self. And still I get angry. This is because I don't control it. It's an impulse. So also somebody's anger means an impulse. It is helplessly done because of some pain. If we see that, then we can discover a sympathy for that person. You see what I'm saying? It's called Pratipaksha Bhavana. Looking at it, I'm not make-believe that the person is, understand what is and we are responding to what is, not some positive thinking, this thinking, what is really there. And I can look at myself that whenever I get angry, that is because there is some pain. The pain that makes me angry, I don't get angry. Pain that somebody makes them angry, if I respond to the pain, there will be sympathy. So that's how the anger that arises in me can be neutralized by this Pratipaksha Bhavana. So it is not simply observing mind. This witnessing business doesn't help. Understanding. Not witnessing mind. That you may, if mind helps you to witness, which mostly it will not allow you to anyway. If the mind allows you to witness, do that. But generally mind takes us for a ride. And therefore understanding the mind. And Vedanta gives us enough of education to understand our own mind. Why does the mind behave like this? And what is antidote? What should I do to help the mind from its pain, from its reactions? Very rewarding process. Because if you can display once a sympathy or compassion for an angry person, you feel so good about your own self. You feel there is an accomplishment. Even that person became angry, I was able to display kindness to that person. You will feel happy about yourself, with yourself. And thus every such experience of neutralizing anger, resentment, jealousy, neutralizing with genuine feelings will enable you to see, understand your mind and help you deal with the mind and slowly make the mind free from those reactions. So that's the process of understanding the mind. And for that, listen to Vedanta, and then Puja Swami's books there are many, they're like emotional maturity, action and reaction, and so many little books are there. They help us understand our own mind. And more we understand our mind, more we will know how to relate to it and how to deal with it. Not just get frustrated. Because we don't understand, that's why we get frustrated. So understanding the mind is vipassana is all fine, I'm nothing, nothing against that. But all I can say is merely observing is not the solution to the problem. Understanding and resolving the reaction that arises is the solution. If observing helps you do that, but then do this very much also.
Thank you, Swamiji.
For example, Swami, they say, I want to lose weight, so for that I have to control
Speak in the microphone.
I want to lose weight in case, and I want to control my food. I don't have to take rest or sleep. Many things, but it's not happening. So, is there anything in Vedanta also which controls that part, or because?
But do you really want to lose weight?
Yeah, definitely.
No?
Yeah, I had put on a lot of weight now.
So what's the problem with weight?
No, I should, instead of eating 2 chapatis, I have to eat 1. But I'm eating more.
No, my question is, what is the problem with weight? Let it be there.
I'm not very comfortable. What I was so active before, now I am becoming lazy. Once I had put on so weight. That is the, I feel.
So first of all, let the mind discover a value of losing weight. It is not discovered. Keep saying, give lip service, I should lose weight, because that's what the world says. That's what all books say, and then all kinds of videos are saying, we should lose weight. Okay. But it should become my value. So let me address my mind and let the mind understand all the disadvantages involved in being overweight. Educate the mind. Let the mind visualize. See some videos, see some people, what happens to people when they are overweight and what kind of diseases come. Picturize all this in your mind. And let the mind see that this is what will happen. And you get scared. Then it will want to lose weight. Mind doesn't want to, you say I want to lose weight. I don't think mind is so much convinced. Because it is attraction also for food and stuff like that. And so losing weight is more a lip service than a real value. We should have value of the values. Losing weight is general value, it should become my value. Why? When I realize what I lose by not losing weight, presently and in future. Maybe you check with doctors what all can happen. You are already knowing, but in case, what happens to blood pressure, what happens to blood sugar, all kinds of things. And I imagine myself, sugar, let the mind see that. Does it like it? So as the mind stops disliking this weight, it will have the incentive of losing weight. Then it will cooperate with you. Otherwise you won't lose weight and it won't eat a chapati. Mind is its own agenda. So let mind's agenda, your agenda become mind's agenda also. Then there is value of value. Then the mind cooperates with you. Says, no more chapati. No more that vada. Here, during all these days, there will be kheer and vada and all kinds of things going on. And I am good at lecturing. It's easy to lecture.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Swamiji. Such a privilege to have Swamiji in our presence. Swamiji, my question is about Chandogya Upanishad, which is the topic for this camp. So, why Chandogya Upanishad? That's the first thing. What are the special features? Why Swamiji chose Chandogya? And also, we listen to texts one after the other. So how should we listen to Chandogya differently? How to hold on to its Chandogya special characteristics? And lastly, as we end, chapter 7 is the first thing we are entering into. I've not listened to the previous ones. So how to not have that fear of missing out or what we missed, etc.
That is the Swami's job. But all you ask for is what the Swami's job is. To make you comfortable and see the value of it, enjoy it, and not feel that you lost something. The reason why we are doing Chandogya is third camp in series. First one was first 5 chapters, second one was 6th chapter, 7th chapter, but each one is independent. And so it doesn't depend upon what has gone by, and it's an independent text, nothing to worry about. As I said, this is the job of the Swami to give you what is required to relate to it, understand it, enjoy it. So relax, don't worry. So I think 8:45 was the satsang time. Anyway, yeah, if there are any questions, Gunananda is here.
Swami, I need some. I was just thinking, in the process of conditioning the mind, do we need to synchronize the heart and soul also, or not required?
Well, you're not conditioning the mind, we're educating the mind, and to create an alignment between the thought and the feeling is an important pursuit or sadhana that we have to do. That is true. That what we understand in our intellect, it should also become compatible to, or what we think or feel should become compatible to what we understand. So feelings should be made to align with the understanding or thinking, So thinking is what we get here in the class. Aligning that with the feeling. All that will be discussed in the class, but that's what we have to do. Yeah. So where is Gurananda?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I took away your job, so you do this now.
My pranam to Swamiji and all the Swamis, Swaminis, and I welcome you all here for this camp under the guidance of Swamiji Maharaj. I have not much to say other than welcoming you all to Swami Dayananda Ashram Rishikesh. Swamiji, when we announced this camp, we have received nearly 182 applications, and we have sent confirmation to nearly 90% people. But at the last minute, there were a lot of cancellations. Still, people are not very sure about the COVID situation, how does it goes about in India, whether there will be a fourth wave or not. So people are little reluctant, hesitant, and I have received many calls that, mostly the elderly people, their children who are in abroad, they don't want to permit the parents to travel during this pandemic. So we have some, quite a few cancellations in the end, and I was troubling all of you by sending reminders that whether you are attending the camps or not, because from other end I was getting the queries that can I attend this camp, can I attend these camps, but until the last minute people were not able to confirm whether they are participating or not. So I was not able to give more people. We could have given another 20-25 people more admission to these camps, and that's all. Thank you very much, Swamiji.
You should know from your experience, there is always 20 to 30% cancellation in every camp.
Yes, Swamiji.
So if you wanted 150 people, that means they should have registered 180, 190 people.
Yes, Swamiji, that's what we did. We did 172 confirmations. Yes, Swamiji.
Okay, then God bless everybody.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Anything, Swamiji? What?
We have printed sheets of this. We have printed the text for this 10 days camp, Chandogya Upanishad and Kaivalya Upanishad. Our few volunteers will distribute. You can be seated, and they will come around you and distribute the seats. Thank you.
Very good. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate